This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
How would you like to get more customers, make more profits, and have bigger breakthroughs? Get Doberman Dan's profit-boosting breakthroughs. Normally, this would cost you $98 per month, but right now, for listening to this show, he's giving you a free copy of his Doberman Dan letter. All you have to do is go to DobermanDan.com and sign up to get your free copy now.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
So how are we doing this anyways? Do I introduce you? I can't even remember.
I say we just start rambling. And the first thing I want to ramble about is I literally just opened the mail before you called, and there's an envelope from JR.
Oh, shit. I thought you were going to say you won $1 million. Publishers Clearinghouse.
No, that was yesterday's mail. Actually, Ed McMahon himself arrived at my door. He did the Lazarus thing and resurrected himself and came to the door with that big-ass $1 million check. And my reaction was, ho hum, a mere million? Okay.
Just $1 million?
That'll cover my mortgage payment this month. So thanks, Ed. Now get your drunk ass out of here. So that was yesterday. But today's mail was more exciting because I saw the Jonathan Rivera in the corner card, a.k.a. JR, a.k.a. Joe Nathan, a.k.a. Joe Nation.
I
have no idea what to call you.
I like Joe Nation,
It's kind of cool.
I bought that domain name after you guys called me that at the last Gold Mastermind. And then I'm like, how the hell am I going to use this thing? I don't freaking know, but it's a good stage name.
I can't take credit for that. You say you guys, it was really Dr. Jeff actually who came up with that. My understanding of that was you guys, we left you because we're like party poopers.
Yeah.
We left you there at Disney Springs and you guys went to have a couple drinks. And I think after a couple drinks, he wanted to say Joe Nathan, but it kind of slurred into Joe Nation. At least that's the story I'm going with.
That's a satisfactory story. I like that. Thanks,
So
Jeff.
I got a card from you.
What's it
says,
say?
yeah, thanks, Jeff. Joe Nation is cool. Thank you that you got tipsy and slurred your words and came up with Joe Nation.
Gave me a stage name.
So your card says, dream big and enjoy the little things. And then inside it's got a thumbs up and it says, I like you, JR.
Oh, you know what happened?
That was cool. Did this go out to all your clients?
Yeah, you know what? Like I was listening to some pink-haired social media guru, and she says you should tell your friends you like them and stuff. And so I couldn't figure out how to do it online, so I just sent cards out to everybody.
Well, that's pretty cool. My only critique of this is if I were sending this out, I would do it just like you did. It looks handwritten. Is it really handwritten?
Yeah,
or was this a?
It is in my handwritten font. That's the way Send Out Cards does it. They send you this thing, and you just write your letters in there, and then you can use that as your font.
So this is Send Out Cards that did this. They need to sponsor a show, man. We need to get some money out of these guys if we're going to promote them. But so my only critique is on the inside of the card. I leave the thumbs up. I like you. Underneath it in a smaller font if you're sending this to guys in a smaller font in parentheses, I'd write no homo and then sign it JR.
Not in a weird way.
I like you, no homo. Yeah, exactly. Not in that way.
Yeah.
Unless you're so inclined to maybe experiment with but then, dot, and then sign it. That's my only critique.
I will keep that in mind. Actually, Cupcake is the one that put everything together. I just had an idea, brain farted it, and she executed it so that you will be receiving more of those, big fella.
Well, those are cool. I like it. We should do more of that as business people, but you know what? We should just do more of that as people, like the people we like that are important in our lives. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you like it. And I'm going to give credit to one of your mentors, actually, because I invested. I've had many of his books, but I finally invested in one of his programs last year, the Ultimate No BS Referral Machine, talking about Dan Kennedy, Glazier Kennedy. And
good old DK.
Yeah, that's right. Your boys. and I really needed to have some sort of referral plan or outreach plan for my clients. And that's why you guys get the newsletter each month. That's why you guys get a card. Every once in a while, you get a little package. Remember the package I sent you with the earphones and everything? That was our prototype for his, like, what is that? The thing he calls like the Big Bang package or something when people first sign up, Big Wow or something like that.
Yeah, the shock and awe package.
Shock and awe.
I'm looking at them right now. These are pretty badass. And I featured your shock and awe package in an issue of the Doberman Dan letter.
Okay, so I want to clear the air. I'm like 10 months behind.
Uh-oh.
I'm like 10 months behind on all of my newsletters. I just saw your promo for the Gold Mastermind.
Dude, my gosh. Well, my fragile writer's ego is bruised right now that you don't open up my newsletter the minute it arrives. But then that makes me a hypocrite because I'm looking at this stack of newsletters on my chair in the office, and I'm doing the same thing with certain newsletters. No, all these gurus who write news. Actually, you know what? There's very few people these days writing a physical newsletter. I mean, the few that I know of. There's you, me, Terry Dean, Ben Settle, of course, GKIC. I mean, they're publishing several. You know, the regular No BS marketing newsletter, the info marketing letter. Let me see, they got the gold, the marketing to the affluent letter. So those guys are publishing all letters. Pete the Printer, Pete Lillo, and Dan Kennedy have their own newsletter called Marketing Your Services. So I get that. But, and Russell Brunson, I get Russell Brunson's print newsletter, and Todd Brown's,
right?
Yeah, both those guys are just brilliant, and I really enjoy their newsletters. You know, like I get something out of every issue that I think, hey, man, it's either something I can implement now or something I know I'll be able to implement on a project I'm working on. Other than that, the Evil Bald Genius out of the UK, I get his newsletter. That is highly entertaining. and he gets mine. So he's a knight in the marketing Camelot. And I mean, other than that, I mean, it ain't like a bunch of people are publishing newsletters, but they just can stack up.
I got a newsletter cabinet over here where I'm going through them in sequential order so I don't miss anything.
You'd think, I should do an episode about the power of a print newsletter, because going back more than 10 years, even going back to my bodybuilding supplement business, I still have not found anything that can even come close to what you can do with a print newsletter as far as retention in whatever program, retention as a customer, retention in a membership program, upping lifetime customer value, building a relationship with clients, customers, patients, whatever it is, that can't be accomplished via any other means. And I've tested that every way to Sunday, man. With my previous business, I tried to do away with that print newsletter, and nothing could even come close to equaling. Every time I tried to do away with it or replace it with something else, like a membership site or special insiders email, just retention, lifetime customer value just dropped down to the toilet. I should do an episode about newsletters.
This seems like the episode about newsletters. Wow. So wait a second now. You said that you've tried every which way. What is your retention on your newsletter right now?
So damaging emission, to use the copywriting term, damaging emission is I have not checked. I've not checked those numbers since last year. Here we are in June at the time of this recording. But when I checked it last year, average retention was 18 months.
Wow.
So that's for a $98 a month program, which shameless promotion, shameless plug, you can find at marketingcamelot.com. So 18-month average retention. I also still have people who got in on this deal back when it was just a newsletter subscription. We didn't do a monthly webinar. We didn't have the membership site with all the content. It was just a paper newsletter. That was over 7 years ago. I guess close to 7.5 years now. I still have 30% of my nights are still in from that initial offer.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, so this wasn't planned. I guess this is partly an episode on newsletter. So if you really want to bond with your customers, you should do one.
I almost stopped doing it, because I'm thinking the hours that it takes me, it's about the whole thing all in 4 to 5 hours. And I haven't sold that many subscriptions. I mean, I sold an okay amount. It's not terrible, but I used it with you guys, like with my clients as a tool to stay in touch with you. And I had somebody tell me that she's like, oh yeah, I really like the newsletter because I don't want to have to be on a webinar. I don't want to have to take up any time during the day, and I can just get a little bit from you without actually having to be anywhere at a certain time. And so now I'm thinking maybe I need to keep it.
Oh, definitely. So that was the model I was using with my bodybuilding supplement business. When people got on the continuity program for one particular supplement, I included a free newsletter subscription as a bonus. Now, I did have it advertised for $79 for the year, the newsletter. I never sold any subscription. I maybe sold one, So, but, I had it up there so people will know, hey, this is truly a $79 value. That's what I'm asking for this thing for a year subscription. So I included that as a bonus as long as they stayed on the continuity. My biggest challenge with the continuity, because this is back in the day when you could still use Google AdWords for those kind of offers. So I was offering a free month supply. Well, just you pay shipping and handling and get a free 30-day supply. And then you were automatically opted into the monthly continuity. Now, it was all done above board, and we went to extreme measures to make sure people understood they were enrolling in a continuity program. But still, you attract all the freeloading cheap bastard moochers with those kind of offers. So we got a ton of people sign up for the free bottle. And then like within a day, they haven't even got the free bottle yet, but they know it's on the way. In a day, they're calling or sending an email. It's like, yeah, cancel me off the auto ship.
Ouch.
So they got me for a free bottle, like doing that. They are literally taking money out of my pocket, taking food off my family's table, taking the filet mignon away from Don or the Doberman. So that was a challenge. And then another challenge was people were like, as soon as the first auto ship hit, they were immediately canceling. Some would do a chargeback, or ask for a refund. So retention was horrid, man. Like average retention when you did all the numbers was less than a month or 1 month, if anything. So when I included that newsletter, it was written in a really strong voice. That Rick Gray, the persona of that business, had a really strong persona that resonated with that market because I knew that market better than anybody. And I knew exactly what they wanted information wise. So like I included that in every issue. It wasn't bullshit, like, well, here's a thigh specialization program you can do on Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, it was like hardcore stuff that they really wanted. And so people liked the newsletter. And the only way to keep getting the newsletter was to stay on the continuity. Well, all of a sudden, like my retention went from nuttin', honey, like people getting a free bottle and then canceling, nobody staying on the auto ship, to having an average retention of 4 months.
Wow.
Which in that business is really damn good. On average, if you get people to stay on continuity 2 months, that's about right. But I was getting double that. I was getting 4 months. Then I did everything I could to try to take away that newsletter because I thought, it kind of sucks writing this. This is a lot of work. And, and I have to send this out. Maybe I could save a few bucks with postage and printing, and I'll just, send it to them in a PDF. When you take something away from people, oh my God, it's a rebellion, man. I mean, people freaked. And like, how come I'm not getting a newsletter in the mail? And it's, and Jackie was doing... God bless Jackie. I've been with her for over 20 years now.
Wow.
So Jackie from across America was doing customer service, and she'd explain to him, well, Dan is sending it in the PDF form. You get it in email. You check your email you should have gotten. I'll send you another one just like, I don't want a damn PDF. And retention and continuity tanked again. So then I thought, all right, I'll do a special membership site. These will be my
Ruh-roh.
Whatever I call them. Preferred customers. I forget what I call them, but so you're now a preferred customer. You get access to the special preferred customer membership site. They got a username and password, and of course, then all the technical support nightmares that go with a membership site.
Yeah.
And so I posted the newsletter on the membership site in a PDF. No, everybody hated it. Nobody accessed the site. People were still pissed off. They weren't getting it in print. Then I just sent it in an email, and of course, half of those or more never arrived. And there was nothing I could do. I even did monthly teleseminars. Very few people would attend them. So I started doing the newsletter again. Retention went back up to 4 months average.
I think you're trying to save me some heartache here. So thank you for that.
I mean, that was a free newsletter. I mean, my newsletter now, what started as a newsletter, the Doberman Dan letter, now is morphed into something bigger. It's now the Marketing Camelot. And there's other things included, like a membership site with a lot of direct marketing, online marketing content, and a monthly webinar for my Knights. And they also get like frequent discounts on anything I do, on any new products or any events or anything that I'm doing, or any kind of, they get some sort of special preferential treatment, and they get free products, like stuff that I make other people pay for. My Knights get them free. And the newsletter is a benefit of Marketing Camelot. So they still get that in print. But if I had a business like yours dependent on clients, I would keep doing the newsletter. Keep selling it, but those who are your ideal prospects, I would comp them a subscription. And here's how I do it. I wouldn't send them a letter bringing it to their attention that, hey, I'm comping you on my newsletter. You know, normally it's a $95 a month thing, spelled THANG. That's important to spell that word right. $95 a month thing, but I'm giving it to you free because yada yada. Do not do that.
Okay.
Send them your full new subscriber welcome package just as if they'd paid. Do not indicate anywhere that they are a comped subscriber. You're never going to guess who did that with their newsletter and who recommended that I do that for certain key prospects that I want to target. Take a wild guess.
Is that your man, Kennedy?
Yes. When he first started his newsletter, he made a list of people that he wanted as clients. So even though it was a paid newsletter, he sent them the full new subscriber welcome package. And a lot of those people contacted him down the road, and he got some serious money out of them for client work. And they actually believed they had subscribed and were paying for his newsletter, because guys like that, like you, Joe Nation, like me, we subscribe to a lot of publications that are germane to our thing.
Yeah.
And so Jermaine, like Jermaine Jackson, buddy. So that's the first. I think that might only be the second time in my life I've used the word germane. And I have no idea why. It just popped into my mind as the best word to use. Anywho, so like we subscribe to a ton of publications. I'm looking at it at 2 stacks, like both 2 foot high, that I'll go through this month. I mean, you and I pour through a ton of information. You know what? There are some of these that I don't think I subscribe to, but since I subscribe to so many, I don't know. And I read them as if I have subscribed to them. So
nice.
I mean, that's your formula right there.
So, a little secret, that was one of the reasons why I launched the newsletter, was to get it in the hands of people who might make my ideal clients. So there's 3 people that get it. There's the subscribers who pay for it. There's the people who I want to possibly work with, or at least have a discussion with. And then there's my clients who get it. So I didn't hear that before, but I'm glad it reaffirms that I made a good choice there. So you're talking me into keeping my newsletters, what it amounts to.
You gotta. I mean, for any kind of business like yours, really, any business should have a newsletter. Pete the printer, who's in business with Dan Kennedy, says, if you don't have a newsletter, you don't have a business. I would have a tendency to agree with that. So there's something about sending your materials in print. And there was a study done about this on direct mail specifically. And they did MRI scans of the brain. And basically it showed that the materials in print, you could present the same materials online or on a website. But when you present the materials... My dog's having a little doggy dream. He's asleep and his legs are moving like he's running. He's woofing, woof. So the same information presented in hard copy, people hold it in their hands and look at it, just lights up the centers of the brain responsible for emotions, a memory, all this other good stuff that you just can't replicate with any other digital means.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't care if anybody thinks it's old school. It works like insane. You wouldn't believe the amount of money you can make from a tiny little newsletter subscriber list of 200 people or less. You can make more money. I'm not talking about gross. You can make more money net than most neurosurgeons with a teeny tiny little list of newsletter subscribers. That is how important it is. That is how it builds relationships. You know what, Joe Nation, JR, Jonathan, I bet you when you go to an event and somebody finds out you're the Jonathan Rivera, the Joe Nation, whatever apodo in Espanol you're going by, they're going to treat you like they know you, like you're a friend. When they start asking questions about your family, or if you're like me, you tell stories about your dog, they start asking questions about your dog. They start using the words you use, like people use the word thang with me all the time, and just sell the damn thing.
Yeah.
And all these other little isms that I say. When they start doing that, then you'll see the power of a newsletter, because you have built a relationship. In their mind, they have a relationship with you. I mean, they do through the newsletter, but you don't have the same relationship with them.
Right.
You're not reading their stuff every month. But, in their reality, they truly do have a relationship with you. I mean, they'll cry with you when you reveal stuff about, your personal life. They'll, when I talked about how my Doberman died, and I've had people recount that story to me in person in tears.
Wow.
I've had people start telling me my stories, and they actually tell them better than me. It's like they wind up getting inflated. Like, damn, remember that time when you wrote the sales copy in 30 seconds and you made $4 million when you sent it out the next, they exaggerate my story, but they tell the stories. And like, when that starts happening, you got them. And it's the slow drip, man. It's the slow boat to China. This isn't an overnight thing. Send out the first issue and people fall in love with you and give you large sums of money. No, it's the repetition. It's you showing up in their home. If you could put an MRI on their brain, if you do your newsletter right, and you do, because I read yours, Jonathan, you would see the centers of their brain that control emotions lighting up, which again doesn't happen when they read it online on a website, in an email, in a PDF. They'll download the PDF. It'll go unread. Seriously. 99% of the people will never read it. When I look at the stats for my membership site, it is pathetic. People, they don't really want a membership site. I mean, they'll go on there after they subscribe, and maybe if they miss a webinar, maybe they'll go on there and watch the replay. People are getting into my deal for the newsletter.
Yeah.
The reason they're staying an average of 18 months at $98 a month, I mean, that's unheard of. Most of these membership sites teaching anything to do with online marketing are like $30, $40 a month. Their average retention is 2 months or less. If they reach 2 months, they are having a Bible thumping, pew jumping, tongue talking, snake shaking, hallelujah breakdown. And here I am, average 18 months at $98 a month. I'm telling you, listen to me, my dear listener. It is the hard copy newsletter that is doing that. That is the only thing that has the power to do that is replicatable. I mean, because the only other choice that will have a similar effect is you showing up on people's doorstep, knocking on their door, and going sitting down at their kitchen table and having a chat with them over a cup of coffee. That's kind of hard to do every month with 200 people or more. You dig? It is the newsletter. That is the secret, which is that is not the topic I had today. I have like 5 pages of notes for my topic. I guess we'll get to that another day.
We'll have to push that one, because it was, I don't know how this happened, but I do like it. So do you want to tease the next one, or just let's move it? One
last thing, Jonathan, we forgot to mention, give us a call on the Off the Chain hotline. That's at 321-424-6043. So call us, tell us what's on your mind. We want to hear from you, and maybe we'll use it in an upcoming episode of Off the Chain.
I gotta remember the hotline, the Doberman Dan hotline. All right, so we'll be back in your earbuds next time. K9 crew, before you run off, I want to remind you, Doberman Dan has set up an off-the-chain hotline. Call in, tell us you love us. It's even better if you tell us you hate us. It doesn't matter what you say. All you have to do is call in, leave a message. The number is 321-424-6043. Again, Off the Chain hotline, 321-424-6043. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to create rivers of revenue from your existing customers, then the next thing you need to do is go to DobermanDan.com. He's giving away a free copy of his $98 per month Doberman Dan letter just for listening to the show. Go to DobermanDan.com now and sign up for your free issue.
This is the podcastfactory.com.